Hello, welcome to my channel. My name is Craig, and I thought I would show you something a little different that most luthiers don't want to show you, and that is their worst or most horrible guitar build. And this is mine. Started in almost 5 years ago. It was about my sixth guitar. And I only finished it, it's still not actually finished now, but I'm close to finish. I did a preliminary setup 2 days ago. I haven't played it yet since then, but I'll show you some of the reasons why it is a horrible guitar build. Firstly, the idea was great. It has a Carpathian spruce top, which was the first time I used Carpathian spruce. The back and sides are Indian ebony. Nice little bit of heartwood there. Really looked nice. I thought this was going to be a great guitar. First problem occurred when I was doing the rosette for the top. If you look carefully at that rosette, you'll see on the inner parts there's another little couple of strips of inner ones there. That was because I accidentally made the rosette cut in the wrong place. So I tried to remedy that by putting in those two inner strips around the inside there. Not too bad, I thought. That will get by, but didn't look quite as nice as it was before, but that will be okay. Second thing, when I was constructing this, I decided I was use hide glue, because everyone was saying that hide glue is the best thing to use. From what I could see, it wasn't a great glue because it's not as strong as Titebond. But I thought, all right, I'll use hide glue. So I used hide glue for the whole guitar. Then, after I'd put it together, at least the box part, there were some problems. One, I had one of the braces on the top came loose. So I repaired that one, this time with Titebond. And not long after that, I had two braces on the bottom, also came loose. I repaired those with Titebond as well. So I was beginning to think that hide glue isn't as good as people were saying. It could be the way I applied it, but I don't think that's the case. When you look at the scientific literature, it is a weaker glue than Titebond. And Titebond's worked well on all my other guitars. I'm up to about 50 guitars. At the moment, I've got 7 guitars that I'm building, and the 7th one will be my 50th guitar. None of them have had the problems that this one has had. The next thing, when I was doing the back portion here, I realised it was not quite straight. So I had to take it out, put in a wider piece and make it straight, which was okay. It looks not too bad. Then I was doing the bindings. Unfortunately, when I was doing the bindings, my router bit started to move downwards. It went all right around this side, but the other side, not so good. If we look at that, you'll see the depth of this one is different to the one over here. And even more so, if we look at inside, this section here, it is much narrower than it is around the rest of it. So nice curly maple binding, but it didn't work quite so well when the router wasn't working properly. So I tried to remedy that and wasn't very successful. Now the problem I have here is there's a little gap that I just noticed the other day. I didn't notice before. I'll have to put a little bit of a shim in just in the top there between the fretboard and the top. Not a major problem. I'll fix that pretty easily. Next thing, I decided to try and build this. I was getting very eager to build it. I decided to try and build it in January in Australia, which is a very humid month. And it was about 70% humidity. When winter came around, I had a split. The first time and only time I had a split, right along the join on our Carpathian spruce top. It was about 3, maybe 4 millimeters wide down this side, and a little bit less up here. I shouldn't have done it that high humidity, of course. It should be about 40-45% would be the ideal, but I was eager at the time. So I fixed that up. Now, I had a couple other guitars I made at the same time. I joined the tops with tight bond. They didn't split. So again, I think tight bond is a much preferable glue to hide glue. Next thing, I decided I wanted to have some nice curly maple binding on the fretboard as well. First time I was doing binding on the fretboard. Only problem is I didn't quite put it on correctly, and there was a gap all the way along here. Now last week I actually put in a very thin slither of curly maple all the way along there, and it appears to be not too bad. The curliness isn't quite showing through, but it's very hard to see now where it was before. There was quite a big gap down there. The other side was okay, no real problem there. Now the other thing with the binding too, I forgot to say, if you have a look at that binding, you'll see that it is different. The pattern just there is different. This one's darker and the lines don't quite match up. And I didn't check that before I put it on, so that was again a bit of a problem. You can't really fix it up without having to do the whole binding again. So I've just left it as it is. When I put the bridge on, the bridge was not quite in the right place. So another mistake there. So I took that off last week as well and repositioned it. So I think it's going okay now. I decided, because there were so many problems with this one, I would put True Oil on this one as a finish rather than using nitro. And I think it's come up not too badly until you get to around here. For some reason or other, I'm not quite sure. It's the first time I used True Oil, but it does not look too nice just around that section there. I will probably rub that back and try that again, see if I can improve upon that. Apart from that, which is most of the parts of the guitar, it's now finished. And I'll do a final setup in a couple of weeks, so give it a little bit of rest. But I might just try playing a few notes now just to see how it sounds. Okay, first sounds. Has plenty of sustain. Looks like the braces aren't rattling anymore. Now I give my guitars away, I don't sell them, but I don't think I would give this one away because of all the issues that it has had. But I think the sound's okay. I'll see how it goes in a couple of weeks' time when I do the final setup and put a shim underneath the fretboard there. And I might just keep this one to myself. Thank you for watching.